Alright, hello everyone. So we are at the beginning of chapter 4 or something.
Keeping up with that handyman was a hell of a job. I deserve a little R&R.
Man, why am I stuck babysitting the drunk gorilla while you get to go have fun?
That's a good question. But let's go. Oh, we're gonna go that way. Yeah, I knew we were going to. We had to turn right somewhere around here. And now we're out on the right way. We're almost there. Looks like school's out already. I gotta go check on Sava Sensei. I think it was this floor.
Excuse me, Yagami-san?
Huh? Koda-san, what's up? Did a teacher call you over?
Actually, I wanted to talk to you.
Okay.
I saw it on the news earlier. Mikoshiba-sensei was killed. But you already knew that, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
I figured you knew something.
Guess that's why you've been asking about him. You should have told us, man.
I couldn't. I knew how hard you guys would have taken it.
You know who did it? I mean, a lot for us to know. Seeing how he looked after us and all.
We're still in the dark about that, mostly. Unless you guys have any leads. All we have to go on is he was probably killed soon after he stopped going to class.
So, he really was murdered.
He said on TV it took them 2 months to find the body. Could that mean it happened on the day he went missing?
A good theory, Matsun, but you're starting to sound like one of those mystery club geeks.
Oh, what did Sawa-sensei tell you? She give you anything solid?
Nah, we didn't really get into it yesterday. Way too many, other things came up.
Damn. It's just... It's hard hearing all this, man. Will you at least keep us posted if you find out anything?
No promises, I'm afraid. But hey, I'm glad you guys are warming up to me.
I'm Matsui, by the way.
That's more like it.
Jo.
Could you
Du
keep
är
me in
nog
the
vad
loop
snart.
too? I didn't like Mikoshiba-sensei much, but I never imagined this. Now I'm kinda conflicted about the whole thing.
I get that.
Anyway, I should get going.
Hey, Sawa-sensei?
Look, I know I can't keep you off campus. I don't have that kind of authority. But would you please stop bothering me?
Can you at least tell me what happened yesterday?
Enough! How many times must I repeat myself?
She's only gonna give me the time of day if I keep pushing like this. Guess I'll have to make do with just checking in on her. I wonder if this picture of Mikoshiba was taken where they found the body. This location must be somewhere in Ichinku. And if I'm going to stay on this case, I need to look into everything.
Hey, Tsukumo? It's me. You think you could pin down where Mikoshiba's body was discovered?
Of course. In fact, I can do that pretty quickly. Why? Did you want to go there now?
That's the idea.
Okay, but do note that it's been a few days since they found him. The police may have already scooped up the evidence.
Yeah, but I want to check it out anyway. Then I can decide if it was a waste of time.
In other words, you've got a detective's intuition? What a superpower to have. Okay, here we go. They found Mikoshiba's body in an abandoned building near Sakura River. It's near a small park. On the second floor of the building, specifically. The first floor is just a bunch of empty boutiques.
You're the man, Tsukumo. Thanks.
Right, let's get out of here. They need to be in here that long. Oops. Jo, vi är detektiver i Japan. Let's see here.
And stay down.
Right, there it is. An abandoned building near Sakura River. This one where Mikoshiba's body was found. The lock looks easy to break, but it's daytime and there are people around. I'll just see if there's another way in.
Hey.
That window's open, but it looks impossible to get up there. Let's Seems like sneaking in from the front is out of the question. I should check on the side or the back of the building.
What the?
Broken fencing, huh? I think I can get through with a little effort. I'll have to head through the rear of the building. Well, if the front won't work, then I'll just have to improvise. Now hopefully there's a way in on this side. An open window. I can use it to sneak in. I need something to give me a boost when we're going to climb up there. Let's see if we can find something.
Suspicious.
Here is good. Okay. Let's get up. You can get through with these stairs, but taking a running start. Okay. Towards the gap, circle, okay. Oops. Yeah, we already knew this. I'm sure we're getting the same tutorial again.
Hello? Anybody here? Coming through. Now, where exactly was the body? There's gotta be some clues that'll give me that.
Well, down there.
Huh? Are these burn marks? What the?
Burn marks on the floor, and it looks like there's red powder dusted on the surface.
Suspicious.
This black stain has got to be blood, so this is where Mikoshiba's body was found. That arrow must indicate the body's location. I guess the killer liked to have everything lined up. The spilling matches up with the photo. So Mikoshiba was alive when he was brought here. Which means this isn't where his body was dumped. It's where the murder actually happened.
Huh?
Oh. Well, shit. Someone's coming. Crap. The cops just had to come back to the scene now.
Hey, I heard something. Who's there? State your name and purpose.
Well...
Get some backup over here.
Hey, now, wait a second. Can we maybe talk this out?
Put your hands up and turn around. Who are you and what were you up to? Takayuki Yagami. The Yagami Detective Agency.
Yeah, in Kamurocho.
Weren't you the guy at Serio yesterday? I could have sworn I saw your face there.
Huh? Maybe.
The name's Watanabe. Kanagawa PD Division 1. Charmed, I'm sure. This fella here is Sakurai.
Sup?
So, you think barging into a crime scene was a real bright idea?
Well, it was
What?
locked.
I thought you guys were done here. I figured I could take a look around. What?
You wouldn't happen to be working with Genda Law, would you?
Huh?
You hear on Shirosaki Sensei's business? Saori Shirosaki, right? The grouchy one.
Okay, how'd you know?
Well, it started when Mikoshiba's body turned up. Once our investigation kicked off, we found out about that pervert cop in Tokyo. Seems he knew where the body would be. But when we went to go see him, HQ pumped the brakes. They said no interviews on this one. Much to our amusement, we ended up being directed to Shirosaki, the perv's lawyer.
So these cops met with Saori's son to learn about Hara's incident.
So being that Genda Law office is in Kamurocho, and you're a Kamurocho detective working your case, that means either the two of you are connected, or I'm really losing my touch.
Well, you've certainly got my number. Now that you know, how about taking these cuffs off?
Smooth, but the jury's still out on you, pal. First, you got any thoughts on all that?
On anything specific?
The part about HQ locking us out of interviewing Ahara, smart guy. Here we are with a material witness who it turns out knew about a corpse rotting away for 2 months. And those Tokyo chuckleheads just shut us out. Balls even for those tight asses.
When it says HQ, I assume that's the Tokyo PD, since they're stepping on the local police's toes. Any crimes that happen in Ichiko falls under Kanagawa's PD's jurisdiction, not Tokyo's, which explains why Watanabe heroes might be ticked off.
Ahara was Tokyo PD, so wouldn't they want to protect him? They probably want it handled discreetly.
Nah, if only it were that simple. This isn't about protection. They'd get burnt real bad if they tried to bury this shit under the rug. Besides, not only is this cop a nasty creep, he's got ties to a fucking murder. Another prefecture blows the lid on that, the top brass may as well kiss their jobs goodbye. Heads would roll. They've got to wash the shit stains off their laundry to keep their asses clean.
Yeah, I could see how that makes sense.
Anyway, so HQ told us their boys would look into Ahara. What we had to do was hand them our notes on the murder. Can you believe that crap? Like hell we're gonna bend over for them. But look where that's got us. Now nobody's interrogated Ahara.
Are Kanagawa and Tokyo PD really fighting over who gets the credit? Don't tell me they're that petty.
Like you wouldn't believe. While the higher-ups play intel hoarding games, Arahor's just sitting pretty. Shit. The cop's supposed to be chasing down the perps. Instead, here I am with my hands tied, bitching to a PI.
So I'm your therapist now.
I was gonna take you down to the station and put the squeeze on you. But if you're a half-decent detective, maybe we could collaborate.
Oh yeah?
I mean, you came all the way from Kamurocho to sniff around here, right? I highly doubt you found much. But tell me something I don't know and maybe the cuffs will fall off.
Oh, we have a
You
picture.
proposing a deal?
Depends on if what you've got is worth making one.
This is going to be such a waste of time. But I want some info from these cops myself. Probably best to collaborate with these guys and give them a little more insight. Yeah, let's go with the photo.
Okay. How about this?
What the hell?
Hiro Mikoshiba. Was this taken here? Right before he died?
Where did you get this? What kind of shit you trying to pull?
I could tell you better with the cuffs off.
You're craftier than I thought. Fine, let him loose. All right, let me get this straight. Right before you met up with this Seiryo High teacher, a strange woman showed up with this photo.
Yeah. I couldn't get a good look at her. But it seems whatever threat she made worked. Sawa-sensei wouldn't say a thing after that.
Sawa's the one who supervised Mikoshiba for his student teaching program.
I know that. So, this woman you're talking about must have had it in with the culprits. You know, they were working in a group.
That's quite a revelation. What makes you so sure about that?
Sakurai, show him the photo of the body. And spare me the protocol lecture. I'm sick of this going nowhere. If Hotshot here is gonna look into Arahora for us, we may as well take advantage of it.
You're the boss, Nabe-san.
We haven't seen the body yet. This had to be 2 months after his death. The body looks pretty decayed.
Mikoshiba was last seen alive 2 months ago, October 7th, 6:30 a.m. He was talking to his mother as he exited their house back in the city. Since there were no other sightings of him, it's likely he was abducted a short ways from his home. This had to be done by vehicle, as common sense would tell us. So there must have been at least 2 suspects, a driver and a handler. If it were me, I'd have put 3 on the job.
So that's why you figured it was a group effort. Sounds logical to me.
Mm-hmm. Now, according to the autopsy report, they found food in the poor guy's stomach. Based on how digested it was, we can assume he was killed at least an hour after breakfast, putting it around 7:30. Then not long after, he was brought here. His throat was slit with a knife. Get all that, Hotshot?
So on the day of Mikoshiba went missing, he was abducted near his home and he was killed right here, no earlier than 7:30 a.m.
And what was our friend Arahora doing at that time? The old perv was walking through Ikebukuro's ticket gates around 7:43 a.m. This was stated in court and corroborated by multiple security tapes.
But if that's true, he couldn't possibly have killed Mikoshiba. It's 30 kilometers between here and Ikebukuro.
Yeah, that's the meat of his alibi. Yet somehow he knew Mikoshiba's body would be discovered 2 months after his arrest, despite being in custody the whole time. So there's no doubt he's connected to the killers. Just put the screws to him, he'd squeal. Damn it, HQ! Why the hell are we out here working the site if it's already been picked clean?
All right, Nabe-san. Deep breaths.
Yeah. But do you see why we've got to get someone in to talk to Arahora? Hell, beg Shirosaki-sensei for a visit if you have to. HQ can't say squat about his attorney visiting.
A hell of a cop. We only just met and I'm halfway to becoming his gooper. Then again, I guess I'll do the same thing.
What you said raises some questions of my own. about the crime scene and the body.
Oh yeah? Ask away then.
Now here's a chance to get some pertinent facts. I need to ask what evidence the police collected from this scene.
I noticed the burn marks on the floor in the shape of an arrow. What's with that?
Somebody lit flares here, ones that shoot red smoke. It was only a matter of time before the fire department got called, and they're the ones who stumbled on the body. Pretty obvious the culprit set up a smoke signal to make sure the body got found. They probably had the timing all worked out with Ahara so he could predict the body's discovery from maximum impact. And that's exactly what he did, just as the judge handed down the sentence.
What would be the point of that, though?
For all I know, he just wanted to blow everyone's minds.
We'll ask away. The state of the body regarding building owner, time of death.
How narrow is the window for Mikoshiba's estimated time of death?
Based on how digested his breakfast was, he was killed somewhere between 7:30 and noon on the morning of October 7th.
Pretty impressed you can narrow it down like that with a 2-month-old corpse.
Yeah, well, the window gets much bigger if we consider the possibility that the killers forced Mikoshiba to eat. At any point after the kidnapping, they could have made him eat a typical Mikoshiba family breakfast.
It's possible. All they had to do was make him say what he usually eats.
Good, we're on the same page. Now, if we take into account the decomposition of the body, Mikoshiba's estimated time of death actually ranges from 7:30 a.m. on October 7th all the way to the end of that month. So about 3 weeks.
3 weeks? That's a massive gap. Can't we narrow it down further?
The body's just too decomposed to do that. But expand the time frame all you want. Ahara was in custody through the whole thing, so he couldn't have done the deed.
Right. He spent 2 months behind bars. Hate to think a different crime got him such a strong alibi.
In any case, someone else killed Mikoshiba. If we could just get in the same room as him, we'd know who that is.
Cause of death.
What was the victim's cause of death? The news called it a massive hemorrhage.
Yep. They slit his throat and let him bleed to death. After tying him to a chair, the killer stood behind him. Lifting his chin with his left hand, his right hand slid the knife.
Sounds like you guys have that bit on lockdown, huh?
It's one of the few things we're sure of.
Yeah, that's new. Okay. Well, let's go with these two first.
What shape was the body in when it was found?
Full of maggots and decomposing bad. His hands were zip-tied behind the chair, securing him in place. The cause of death was the throat wound, but before that, they really worked him over. Rough way for the guy to go.
Damn.
They even broke all his fingers. On both hands.
That sounds painful.
Fucked up, right? I'm guessing a professional did this. Could be Yakuza, could be Mafia, take your pick. We've got some guys checking that angle out too, just to make sure there's no stone left unturned.
Doesn't this place have a manager? I'm sure it wasn't always like this.
There is a property owner. He's been around Ijincho forever, but the building's been deserted for 2 years. Apparently, there was a padlock to keep the homeless out, but it was long gone by the time they found the body. Broken by the killers, most likely.
Has the murder weapon been found?
No. There were no weapons at the scene. Real shame. That'd be some decisive evidence.
So when you said it was a knife, was that a guess based on analyzing the wound?
I wouldn't call it a guess. The coroner outright stated that the weapon was a sharp knife-like instrument.
I think I'm starting to get the picture here. That should be it for questions.
Tell me, you detectives out in Kamurocho always this hands-on?
Sorry, what?
I'm saying you guys work quick. We had barely set foot in Seiryu High, and you already had the run of the place. Hell, you even closed in on that Sawa sensei and got a meeting with her.
I was just lucky to have been there on another case.
Is that right? What? What's wrong?
Somebody's spying on us with binoculars.
No shit?
3 men, 30s probably. The one with binoculars is wearing a black jacket. My number's on my card!
Yagami!
Well, we need to leg it.
Hey, wait up!
It might just be a reporter.
You won't get away! Hold up!
Okay. Oh, that took some time.
You won't get away!
I'll take that. Kicking stuff. Okay, they lose hell, okay. Oh, we missed.
Hold up!
Okay, what's left?
Leave me alone!
Hold up!
Cut it out! Get away from me!
You won't get away!
Give me a break here!
Almost.
Hold up! Give it up, Lauren.
No! Damn, hotshot. You're quick on your feet. So let's hear why this fool had eyes on us.
He claims he just wanted to see the scene for himself.
It's true. Ask the other 2 guys with me. They'll be here any minute.
So you were here gawking, is that it? Better than busting in like you own the place.
I thought that was water under the bridge.
So, who are you? Why'd you run?
I ran because I saw a cop jump out a window and charge at me. Are you saying you'd stick around if you saw that?
He thinks you're a cop. Should we get you a badge and a hat?
I'd be honored.
You have any ID on you? Will my license work?
Kake-san, age 30.
What do you do for work?
Oh, I'm just a professional pencil pusher. Biotech, planning and management.
Are your other 2 pals biologists too?
No, one's an investor and the other's a consultant. We all went to high school together.
Says here you have a Tokyo address. What brings you to Yokohama?
Oh, well, I'm organizing a class reunion in Chinatown. So I came to scope out the location in advance.
This ain't the way to Chinatown, pal.
Oh, we thought since we came all the way to Yokohama, we might as well peek at the crime scene.
Oh yeah, that's normal.
Pretty morbid idea, isn't it?
I suppose.
What high school did you all attend?
Kurakawa Academy, a private school in Tokyo.
So it's not Seiryu High. Man, are these guys seriously not linked to the crime in any way?
Hey, over here!
We'll need to verify your buddy's identification as well. I suggest you all cooperate.
Nabi-san!
All right, you jokers are free to go. Appreciate you being so civil. Guess that settles it. Just dumbass rubberneckers. Tough break, huh? After all you went through chasing them down.
I don't mind. My motto's to always swing for the fences.
Yeah, well, your strikeout was pretty amusing. The guy who goes down swinging is all right in my book. Now that that's settled, give my regards to Shirosaki-sensei. Hope you get some dirt on Ahara soon.
Well, that was interesting. I'm starting to piece things together. It's good timing for a chat with Sarah-san, actually. But for now, I should head back to Yokohama 99. Then I can give Sarah-san a call. Seems like a good plan. Should be around here somewhere. There it is. Wiretapping? No, did it? Who knows? Could be corporate espionage.
Excuse me.
Did you say corporate espionage and wiretapping? Yes, that's right. Our company is currently in crisis mode. Turns out confidential information has been leaking into our competitor.
What does that mean?
Did you find any bugs? Yeah, actually, we found one by pure accident. Then we hire a detective to sweep the building, and he finds 5 more. Apparently, it's been happening all over Yukushino lately. Everyone's talking about it on Chatter. Some corrupt detective willing to do all sorts of shady things. Really now? A corrupt detective is in town. Maybe I should look into this crooked competition. What does the bus researcher have to say? Listening device, 5 results. Yeah, I think I marked the wrong one. So this is where they found that wiretapper. Already quite a crowd here.
Enough is enough!
As I've told you, I'm here to locate them, not to plant them. That sounds like Tsukumu. I'm a detective from Yokohama 99. I picked up the wiretap signal here, so I came to sweep for it. You're a detective? Who hired you? Well, detectives have a strict code of client confidentially. But I admit, this wasn't for an official case, but more of my own curiosity, so... Your curiosity? Yeah, that sounds like the likely cover story for a serial bugger like people have been complaining about. And you definitely look the part.
Well-
Oh dear.
Huh?
Oh great. Yeah, he's about to get pinched.
Hey!
Yagamishi!
What a timing. I could really use your backup. The security guard is accusing me of plaguing the town with bugs. You know this guy?
Yep.
Yeah, we've been friends for a long time. Just as he said, he's a detective and he's definitely not the kind of resort to such shady jobs. I'm not so sure I should be trusting you either. Not trustworthy, huh? Quick flash of this should take care of it. There's that one. The badge. My name is Takayuka Yagami. I'm a lawyer. If you're going to treat my friend like a criminal without any proof, this badge might have to come into play at some point. You're a lawyer? Well, if a lawyer's vouching for him, then I don't see a problem here. Sorry about that. Have a nice day.
I owe you one.
My, well, thanks for your assistance, Yagamishi. Truly, you rescued me in the nick of time.
Hey.
What was that all about, anyway? That wasn't the first time I've heard of wiretapping causing a fuss around here. Indeed. Supposedly, there's a detective in Shinkyo who has been offering his services for a wide variety of illegal purposes. Yeah, I heard something about the corrupt detective earlier. So he is the wiretapper that security guard was hoping to catch.
Sure.
Presumably so. This individual's performed some rather unsavory duties for his clients. Assisting stalkers and loan sharks in finding their targets, for example. So this guy sounds pretty awful. Any legit detective would turn these clients down. I wholly agree. The notion of allowing this man to tarnish the title of detective did not sit well with me. Hence, I was driven to the field to investigate. But I just wound up being accused of performing the deed I was attempting to stop. Goodness, whatever can I do? Maybe try cutting out the sly grins and conspirational giggles when you're on the job. But I can't help grinning when dealing with such fantastic subjects. Oh, how about instead I have you continue this investigation for me? You can use this track clandestine signals I invented by yours truly. You want me to do it? Yes, it appears I'm destined to bear the cross of suspicion of the suspicious individual. But you certainly have no words of that. Oh, I don't know about that. Well, certainly I do. You got the ace up your sleeve, and a Tornus badge you can flash in a pinch. So that being said, please take this with you. Okay. You said this thing picks up clandestine signals. Precisely, it can detect anything emitting a suspicious signature from up to 5-10 meters away. Bugs, spy cameras, the like. There's a signal coming from behind this building. Perhaps you should look for its source.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah, we know how this works. Shouldn't be that hard. Behind this building, he said. In the parking lots. See, it's probably all the way over here somewhere. Oh. There we go. Must be over here somewhere.
Bingo.
This car is giving off a weird signal.
Huh?
Perhaps a bug of some sort has been planted in this car. Interested in my car, are you?
Excuse me.
Sorry about that. I'm Takayuki Yagami, a detective. Oh, a real-life detective. I'm Otoya Iwagami. I'm a prosecutor. Oh, so you're a public prosecutor. To be honest, I loved mysteries since I was little. Detectives are so fascinating, but I never thought I'd actually meet one like this. Is that so? Well, Mr. Detective, what business do you have with my car? Are you on a case? Is there a mystery here right now? Well, there seems to be a series of illicit snooping activities going around the town lately, so I'm looking into the matter. And for some reason, your car's emitting a rather strange signal. Oh, do you think my car's bugged? That depends. Do you ever have conversations in there that you wouldn't want others to hear? Yes, certainly. Yes, certainly. Discussing the day's upcoming trials with my secretary and such. Could that be the reason someone would want to bug my car?
Yep.
It's possible. May I search for you? By all means. The signal's coming from this stuffed animal. It really was in his car. I think I found the source of the signal. That's Masuyama's Kunz. She's running away. Huh? Who was that lady? This belongs to my secretary.
Huh?
Oh crap, damn it. You shall pay for your part in this sordid crime. Out of the way, nerd, I take kickboxing classes each week. Oh, you better watch it. Can he even fight? I don't think he can. A master of the Yagami style, I shall hold back. Oh damn, he is so screwed. You know, Kung Fu, oh, just my luck. Oh, actually, he worked. Excellent bluff, Tsukumo. You really got good at that. Your form was perfect. I've seen you fight enough times for the look of it to rub off, actually. Alright, Masuyama-san, let's hear it. 50,000 yen. What's the meaning of this? I'm sorry, I've been paid off. What? By whom? Was it the one defendant's lawyer? Yes, he claimed to be working for them. He also said he's a detective. A detective? Probably the villainous detective who's been become the talk of the town. Could you describe this person for us? I don't know what he looks like. We only talked over the phone and he didn't video chat with me. What about his voice? Or speaking mannerism then? Anything, any noticeable dialect? I'm not sure. He was real quiet. He kept his speaking to a minimum. I do think he's a male though. Did you record a conversation? No, I was instructed not to. Damn. If only we'd have some sort of evidence we could use.
Excuse me.
Did he happen to give you his name? No, but he did say he runs the illegal detective agency. Wow, pretty brazen approach. He sure doesn't beat around the bush, does he? Bribery? How could you do this? Once he offered me 3 million, I couldn't help myself. Heavens help me, what am I to do with you? Yeah, that girl definitely getting canned. If not jail time on top of it. Well, She certainly could have told that before she bugged her boss. And now, who would have guessed we'd learn about the corrupt detective in town? We didn't find the guy, but he seems busy enough that we'll probably get another crack at him.
Yep.
I agree. Ichinko seems to be suffering the strangest plague of illicit spying. And I believe my handy-dandy detective could serve as this perfect antidote to this plague.
In other words...
Are you suggesting we comb the whole city for bugs with that thing? That sounds like an awful lot of unpaid work. In that case, you should try consulting the bus researcher first to help pinpoint where you ought to search. Anything gives off strong signals, such as wireless bug spy cameras, are prone to causing interference. Televisions and phones all suffer from some sort of noise when in the vicinity of covered broadcasting devices. Interesting. So if I filter for noise or something along those lines, there's a chance I could track down the bugs wherever the posts are appearing. Indeed.
I see.
Alright, I'll give it a try soon. Well, we got some money. That's good. Now we need to go back to the agency. Yeah, we might need to fight these up ahead. Yeah, maybe not.
Hello?
Yagami-san, do you have a minute? It's Shiosaki.
Oh, I was just about to call you. I was gonna say I've got some leads on the murder. By the way, you wouldn't happen to know a Detective Watanabe, would you? From Kanagawa PD?
Oh, yes. He came asking me about the harassment case. Apparently he couldn't interview Ahara, so he got us instead.
Wanna know why that is? Apparently Tokyo PD suspects Ahara might be linked to the murder in some way. And since they don't want Kanagawa stealing the show, they're blocking their investigators out.
That does make sense. Not in a bureaucratic way.
By the way, when's your next appointment with Ahara?
As soon as we're ready, honestly. Did you want to come along?
Yeah, I was just about to ask that. But I'd like to do a bit more research beforehand. I want to know exactly how Ahara's crime played out.
Funny you should say that. Hoshino-kun just told me he's going to re-inspect the crime scene tomorrow. He said it'd be best to plot Ahara's movement from Ikebukuro all the way to Shinjuku, where he was caught.
No kidding. Then I ought to go with.
If that's the case, hold on one sec.
Okay.
Yagami-san? It's me, Hoshino. I'm stoked to hear you'll be helping me out tomorrow.
I'm stoked to be there. Oh, and could you bring the statements from Ahara's arrest with you? It'd be a huge help if you could walk me through what happened on site.
You got it. We'll be starting from Ikebukuro Station, so just meet me there tomorrow.
Will do. See you then.
Yeah, I can deal with the rest tomorrow. It's time to recharge. Well, they are out. Let's see how much money we get. A few thousand. Okay, the station, best to take a taxi.
Okay, see that sign right there? Ehara was leaning on that before the incident. Yep, just like that. He was standing around searching for a victim. Ehara's the man in the cap and sunglasses.
That's him deciding who to attack. Damn, looking at it now, he is pretty suspicious.
So, Ehara was lingering at the platform a while, huh?
Yeah, he walked past the ticket gate at 7:43 a.m. This was confirmed by the security tapes as well as when he swiped his transit card. After that, he wandered the platform an entire hour ogling women.
He spent that long choosing a target?
Yeah, sick, isn't it?
And the security camera that caught him would be... that one?
That's right.
Ikebukuro is pretty famous for its sheer amount of foot traffic. In a station like this, the cameras almost never have a blind spot.
Anyhow, at 9:06 a.m., Ehara finally honed in on his would-be victim. Then he boarded her train, which was departing for Shinjuku.
She's the one in the pink cardigan and white skirt?
Yeah, Yui Mamiya, an office worker and mother of a 6-year-old boy. The two of them show up on the train's interior cam as well. According to the victim's statement, Ehara began by rubbing her posterior with the back of his hand. But it didn't stop there. After that, he put his hand up her skirt.
Pretty sickening.
I'm assuming he targeted someone shy, thinking she wouldn't resist. Makes me angry just thinking about it. The victim stated she was too scared to call for help, meaning she endured this for 6 minutes until the train reached its stop in Shinjuku.
Can you send what you just showed me to my phone?
Sure. Now let's head to Shinjuku Station. Then we can watch as the jerk gets busted. Even if we did defend him in court, an asshole's still an asshole. Looks like we're getting close to Shinjuku.
The train's pretty light right now, but it was packed during the crime, right?
Oh yeah, the car occupancy at that time of day can easily reach 180%.
And Ehara should have been standing roughly where I am.
Is there anything I can conclude from looking around? Yeah, we know this.
What the?
Tony Bear doesn't, although he doesn't look like much at first glance. Yeah, sure.
Hey.
This footage was recorded for a security camera in the train. I'm standing roughly where Ehara was.
What the?
Yeah, we know it's empty. They mentioned that.
Suspicious.
6 minutes from departure to arrival. Where's the camera that caught him then? must be above the doors. There it is.
Ehara and Mamiya-san both exited the train and got onto the platform here. But right before that, Mamiya-san suddenly grabbed Ehara's wrist and yanked his hand out from under her skirt. That's when she got a good look at her assailant.
So without a doubt, she saw it was him.
Yes, and there were also traces of her garments on his hand during evidence analysis. Anyway, after being grabbed, Ehara wrenched himself free and took off at a sprint. See, here he gets off the train and bolts across the platform. And Mamiya-san chases after him, asking people around her for help.
Ah, this is what they kept looping on TV.
Yeah. And honestly, with all this evidentiary footage, defending him in court was a lost cause.
Was there any security footage that wasn't aired on TV?
Sure, take a look around you. There's more than just one camera pointed at us. They're practically everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
As for what I was saying earlier, Ehara was finally tackled right in front of those stairs. Oh, right. I have a diagram of the platform to show you.
Alright.
So Ehara gets off the train here, and then gets apprehended here. How far apart is that?
Roughly 100 meters. Both he and the victim were weaving their way through the crowd. The whole scene was very chaotic. Even after Ehara was caught, the train was stalled 20 minutes until the area was deemed safe.
Hey, you think we could get the positions of all these cameras and where they're pointing penciled in?
Good idea. Let's check each camera's position as we walk over to where Ehara was detained.
Yeah, but that's gonna be a lot of
where he
cameras.
got tackled. So if you could let me know whenever you see a camera, I can mock it up on our diagram here.
Oh, one was right here.
Suspicious.
There's one.
What the?
There's another one. Are there more? Are these cameras? Oh, that's a camera.
Suspicious.
Looks like we checked all the nearby cameras. Let's go up a little further now.
Suspicious. What the?
Yeah, there really is cameras everywhere.
Suspicious. Hey. Suspicious.
Okay. So there must be there we are.
Looks like we checked all the nearby cameras. Let's move on.
This should be the last section.
Suspicious. Hey. Uh-huh. Suspicious.
Okay, looks like we got all the cameras. Our diagram is now complete.
Yeah, that's a lot of cameras. From the boarding area, he ran in the direction of the arrow. Then it was taken by the concerned citizens.
Now we'll pencil in the camera locations and what directions they're pointing.
So each of the orange areas presents a security camera's field of view.
What the?
Well, there is one. Like here. Does this dotted part of the arrow indicate a blind spot between the cameras? If so, there won't be any footage of Ahara running through here.
Hey.
There's... What about here? This arrow shows the path Ahara... Yeah, we know. We know.
Hey.
Yeah, we know that's where he started.
Suspicious.
And this is where he got tackled.
So this was the general situation when Ahara committed his crime. What do you think, Yagami-san? Anything of note?
Do you think Ahara and Mamiya-san were riding the train pretty frequently?
Oh yeah, Mamiya-san commuted by train. She was here every weekday. Same goes for Ahara, actually, but he was off that day. Supposedly, he was going to see his wife, even though they're separated.
Did he ever say why he wandered around the platform for an hour?
He said the thought of his wife had him flustered, and he couldn't force himself to board the train. He always had an excuse ready for anything you asked him, including the harassment charges. He pled not guilty, but the evidence said otherwise. There wasn't a single argument we could make in court to establish reasonable doubt.
Safe to say he did it. But on the same day, he knew his son's bully would be murdered in Ijincho. Pretty clear it wasn't a spontaneous need to grab some ass.
I agree. It's almost like all the commotion around the harassment might have been planned out. Maybe everything was, even down to getting captured.
Yeah. He really played everyone by turning harassment into an alibi for murder. No matter how much evidence points to him as a killer, he can deny it with complete immunity.
This is getting crazier by the minute.
At the very least, he had something to do with it. Some connection. But I can't imagine he'll talk. Whatever his plan is, it's pretty clear Ahara is committed.
To what? Getting revenge for his son?
I think so.
Who do you think his accomplices could be? Ahara's a veteran cop. Think maybe he knows how to hire an actual assassin?
But what about his the mother?
He could have just paid for his revenge, right?
Sure. But assassins cost an arm and a leg. He wasn't rich before all this, was he?
No. He barely scraped up enough to cover his lawsuit against the school.
Thought so.
I've gone to the scenes of both the murder and the train regrouping. That should be all the places I need to see. Oh.
Hey, it's Shiosaki.
What's up, Sari-san?
I'm scheduling an interview with Ahara tomorrow at the Tokyo Detention Center. We'll take a taxi from Genda's if that all works for you.
Sounds good. But I need to head back to Ijincho for now.
Something you forgot to do?
Yeah. It involves Ahara's motive, which would be without a doubt his son's suicide. So I want to confirm if Mikoshiba really bullied the kid. And the best person to ask happens to be down in Ijincho.
All right. Then I'll let you get to it.
Cool. Then I'll see you tomorrow.
Mikoshiba, Ahara, yeah, I saw everything there was to see at each of the crime scenes. Now all that's left is getting Sawa-san to talk. The key will be learning what happened to Ahara's son 4 years ago. But she will not speak. She will not do it. She will not do it. She's gonna be pissed.
Got a minute?
No, not for you. I really have nothing more to say.
What if I told you it's looking more and more likely Ihara-san had a hand in Mikoshiba's death?
Well, it doesn't concern me.
Ihara-san believes Mikoshiba tormented Toshiro-kun so badly that he took his own life. But neither the third-party investigation nor the courts were on his side. So what's the truth here? You know, don't you? What really happened between Mikoshiba and Toshiro-kun? Why won't you tell me the truth?
Why do you keep asking? I said I don't know!
Oh, you do know.
I'm going to the detention center tomorrow to get some answers out of Ihara-san.
What?
I saw where Mikoshiba was murdered. He endured no shortage of cruelty before he died. They tortured him, you know. They broke all his fingers before they slit his throat.
No.
Yeah, I know I'm putting her through a lot right now, but she's connected to this too. She's got information I need to know before I go see Ahara.
And somehow Ihara-san knew Mikoshiba would be killed on the day he got caught for groping. It's like he did it to prove he had nothing to do with the murder. But maybe that wasn't his real objective at all.
Huh?
I think he wanted to signal that he'd finally avenged his son.
The body belongs to a guy named Hiro Mikoshiba. 4 years ago, this man took my son from me by driving him to commit suicide.
If I'm gonna face him tomorrow, I can't go in without some ammunition. So, 4 years ago, did Mikoshiba bully Toshiro-kun or not? That's all I want to know.
My answer won't change. There's no evidence Mikoshiba-kun did anything wrong.
Are you sure about that? Take a look at this.
That's...
Toshiro Ihara, your student. Imagine that he's listening to what you're saying now. If you can look at him and say Mikoshiba played no part in his death, I'll leave you alone. In fact, you'll never hear a word from me again. So which is it?
Go on, spill it.
"4 years ago, not long after I'd transferred here to teach English. That's when it started. I was trying my best to get acclimated, and I was finally on a first-name basis with everyone. One day, after school, I was out on the roof taking a break, when Toshiro-kun suddenly ran by. I called out to him to ask what was wrong, but he shushed me and kept running. I saw he had a bloody nose. Moments later, Mikoshiba-kun showed up. He was looking for him. I told him I hadn't seen him. Toshiro-kun's face told me everything I needed to know.
So Mikoshiba was bullying him after all.
Yes. Toshiro-kun told me this later on. Whenever he'd leave school with Mikoshiba-kun and his friends, they'd force him to hand over money. At first, they'd try to pass it off as a joke. They said since he lowered the class average on tests, He ought to buy them all drinks as an apology. And Mikoshiba-kun, he was having too much fun with it to stop. He started offering tutoring sessions to Toshiro-kun. Only so he and his crew could extract their tuition from him. They'd even break into his house while his mother was at work and take the money she left him for dinner. And if he couldn't pay, they'd beat him up at school or make him grovel in the bathroom.
Didn't anybody see what was really happening?
She did, didn't she?
Teachers either saw nothing or turned a blind eye. Few students knew about it, though. Anyway, I ended up relaying everything Toshiro-kun had told me to those boys' homeroom teacher. Mind you, this teacher had tenure, title, and years of experience under his belt. Do you know what he told me? He said not to cause a commotion because those boys were about to graduate.
Why does that not surprise me?
And who was that?
To be honest, it was hard to paint such an outwardly model student in a negative light. There was also no hard evidence to support Toshiro-kun's story. But someone still should have stepped in to help. If only I'd understood that at the time.
You tried.
The only thing I tried was to keep an eye out for him, making sure he wasn't alone, things like that. But unfortunately, that wasn't good enough. On the first morning of the 3rd trimester, Toshiro-kun tied a towel to his doorknob and hung himself in his room.
And that's when you confronted Mikoshiba, right? You asked him point blank if he'd bullied him.
I did.
So 4 years ago, Saba-sensei stood up to Mikoshiba for his terrible behavior. Then why has she kept this all to herself for so long?
Mikoshiba-kun pretended to know nothing. He was more careful, shaken even, from then on. In all honesty, when I heard a third-party committee was investigating, I was hoping the truth would come out. Students were asked to fill out an anonymous questionnaire, and many of them wrote down exactly what they saw.
Hold on. Didn't the court end up declaring there was no substantial evidence of bullying? How could they have said that with those questionnaires on hand?
First of all, the committee never interviewed anyone directly. Those questionnaires were the only proof of anything. And the teacher of those boys was the one who collected them. Each time he came across any mention of bullying, he'd toss that questionnaire out. Also, he wouldn't get blamed in the end for ignoring the warning signs.
But who the hell was that then?
So then the committee was pointless.
A few students did speak up about the bullying online, but their posts weren't much to go on. Toshiro-kun's parents were completely caught off guard. His mother worked through the day, and his father lived all the way in Tokyo. That made it that much easier for the teacher to cover up all the evidence of bullying. He made that statement without even consulting the principal or the chairman. So, right before Mikoshiba-kun graduated, the committee presented their findings, that there was no evidence of bullying. The conclusion you've heard over and over.
What the hell?
In Japan, 300 children commit suicide every year, across all grades. Less than 3% are proven to be linked to bullying. Toshiro-kun's case ended up like that too. But Arahora-san wasn't satisfied with those findings, so he sued Seiryo High, demanding compensation for Toshiro-kun's death. As the trial dragged on, I was eventually called to the witness stand. Of course, my intention was to let everything I knew out